What if I told you that the very thing you almost gave up on, the dream you were ready to abandon, the prayer you thought was never heard, the path that seemed too long and too dark and too silent, what if I told you that God was not ignoring you, He was engineering you? What if your delay was never a denial but a divine design being carefully assembled piece by piece in the invisible workshop of heaven? What if the reason your breakthrough has not arrived yet is not because you are unworthy, but because you are not yet completely ready to carry it without being crushed by its weight? Right now, at this very moment, something extraordinary is being built inside you, something that impatience almost destroyed 100 times. And what if the only thing standing between you and the greatest chapter of your life is your decision, made today, to stop rushing what God is perfecting slowly? Stay with me, because what you are about to hear will change the way you see every delay, every silence, and every waiting season in your life forever. What if the most powerful thing you could do right now, in this very moment of frustration, confusion, and exhaustion, is absolutely nothing? What if the greatest act of courage is not to push harder, not to force the door open, not to demand that the universe speed up its process, but to stand still, breathe deeply, and trust completely that what is being prepared for you is worth every single second of the wait? There is a law, a universal, unbreakable, eternal law that governs all growth, all achievement, and all greatness. It is not taught in universities, it is not written in textbooks, but it is woven into the very fabric of nature itself. And that law declares with absolute certainty that nothing of lasting value is ever created quickly. Not the mountain, not the diamond, not the oak tree, not the human soul, and certainly not your destiny. Look at the farmer. He does not plant a seed on Monday and harvest a crop on Tuesday. He plants in faith. He waters in hope. He tends with patience, and he waits, sometimes in rain, sometimes in drought, sometimes in the unbearable silence of a season that shows no visible progress. And he waits because he understands something that the impatient mind refuses to accept. He understands that beneath the surface, in the dark and quiet soil where no human eye can see, something magnificent is happening. The root is going deeper. The structure is becoming stronger. The foundation is being laid that will one day hold the weight of an extraordinary harvest. Your life, your dream, your calling, your purpose is that seed, and God is that farmer. Every single morning that you wake up and the thing you have been believing for has still not arrived, understand this with absolute clarity. God has not forgotten you. He has not misplaced your file. He has not confused you with someone else. He is not sleeping. He is working. He is working in the dark places of your character that you yourself cannot see. He is trimming the parts of your ego that would destroy you if the blessing came too soon. He is strengthening the muscles of your faith that would collapse under pressure if they had not been tested first. He is aligning people, circumstances, opportunities, and divine connections that your impatient mind cannot even imagine, all moving simultaneously toward the single perfect moment of your breakthrough. But here is the devastating truth that most people never discover. Impatience interrupts that process. Impatience is not just a personality trait. It is not simply a bad habit. Impatience is a destroyer. It is the force that takes a masterpiece that needed 12 more months to be completed and pulls it off the divine canvas while it is still unfinished. And then it hands it to you, incomplete, imperfect, unstable, and you wonder for the rest of your life why it did not hold together. Why the business failed, why the relationship crumbled, why the opportunity collapsed. The answer in most cases is terrifying in its simplicity. It was not yet ready. You were not yet ready. Think about the most magnificent structures on this earth. The great cathedrals of Europe took decades. Some took over a century to complete. The architects who designed them knew with absolute certainty that they would never live to see the finished product. They laid foundations for futures they would never personally witness. And yet they worked with precision. They worked with excellence. They worked with the unshakable belief that what they were building was worth every sacrifice, every season, and every moment of what must have felt like endless, exhausting patience. That is exactly what God is doing in your life right now. He is building a cathedral in you. He is laying foundations in your character that you cannot see yet. He is carving windows into your soul that will one day let in light you cannot currently imagine. And every day that you stay faithful, every day that you choose trust over panic, perseverance over abandonment, faith over fear, you are cooperating with the greatest architect that has ever existed in this universe. Now let us talk about what impatience actually steals from you, because this is where the conversation becomes deeply personal. Impatience steals your peace. The moment you decide that God is too slow, the moment you decide that you must take control, force the outcome, manipulate the timing, rush the process, you lose your inner peace completely. And without peace, you make desperate decisions. Desperate decisions lead to desperate results, and desperate results take you further from your destination, not closer. What was a 6-month wait becomes a 6-year detour because impatience convinced you to take a shortcut that led off the cliff. Impatience steals your perspective. When you are impatient, you can only see what is directly in front of you, the obstacle, the delay, the problem, the silence. But faith and patience give you the ability to see from a higher vantage point. They give you the eyes to look beyond the winter and see the spring that is already scheduled. They give you the capacity to look beyond the darkness and see the dawn that is already on its way. Impatience blinds you to the bigger picture. It reduces your vision to the size of your current pain. Impatience steals your gratitude. When you are obsessed with what has not arrived yet, you become completely blind to what is already in your hands. And there is something deeply dangerous about a person who cannot appreciate what they currently have, because God does not entrust greater things to those who are ungrateful for the small things. The fastest way to delay your blessing is to complain about where you are right now. But patience, true, disciplined, faith-filled patience, gives you back everything that impatience steals. Patience restores your peace. It sharpens your vision. It deepens your gratitude. It builds your character. It increases your capacity. And perhaps most importantly, patience teaches you that your value is not defined by your productivity, your progress, or the visible evidence of your success. Your value was established before you were born, and it does not fluctuate with the speed of your achievement. Consider this remarkable truth. The longest period of a diamond's creation is the period of greatest pressure and complete invisibility. Nobody sees it happening. Nobody photographs it. Nobody writes articles about it. For millions of years in total darkness, under unimaginable pressure, what was once nothing more than common carbon is being transformed into the hardest, most brilliant substance on Earth. And when it finally emerges, when it finally breaks through the surface and is held up to the light, its beauty is so extraordinary that human beings have spent fortunes to possess it. You are that diamond. The pressure you are currently experiencing is not punishment, it is transformation. The darkness you are currently navigating is not abandonment. It is the necessary environment for your most profound development. And when God finally holds you up to the light, when your moment arrives, and it will arrive, the brilliance that the world will see in you will be directly proportional to the depth of the pressure you endured with faith and patience. There is one more thing that must be said, and it must be said boldly, directly, and without apology. Stop comparing your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 20. One of the most lethal weapons that impatience uses against you is the weapon of comparison. You look at the person beside you, and they seem to have arrived already. Their business is thriving. Their family is flourishing. Their dreams are materializing at a speed that makes your progress look pathetic by comparison. And in that moment of comparison, impatience whispers its most poisonous lie. God blessed them and forgot about you. That is not a truth. That is a trap. You do not know what that person endured in their chapter 3. You did not walk with them through their darkest seasons. You did not see their tears in the silence of midnight. You did not witness the moments when they almost quit, when everything in them screamed to give up and walk away from the dream. You only see their harvest. You were not there for their planting. And if you knew the full story, the complete, unedited, unfiltered story of what they went through to get where they are, you would stop comparing immediately and return your focus to your own divine timeline. Your race has a specific route. Your route has a specific pace. Your pace has a specific purpose, and no one else's speed tells you anything meaningful about yours. The only comparison that matters is who you were yesterday versus who you are becoming today. So what is the decision that must be made in this moment, right now, in this sacred space between where you are and where you are destined to be? The decision is simply this: choose patience as a weapon, not as a weakness. Choose waiting as an act of the most radical faith rather than as a symbol of failure. Choose to trust the process with the same certainty that the farmer trusts the seed, that the sculptor trusts the stone, that the navigator trusts the stars. Choose to believe, with every fiber of your being, that what God is building in you slowly is infinitely more glorious than anything you could have constructed quickly through impatience and panic. Do not let impatience rob you of the masterpiece. Do not snatch yourself out of the divine workshop before the work is complete. Do not walk away from the greatest story ever written about your life simply because the chapter you are currently in is hard and long and silent and uncomfortable. Stay, trust, endure, and wait, not passively, not with folded hands and a defeated spirit, but actively, productively, faithfully, with a burning certainty in your heart that your moment is not lost, it is simply not yet arrived. Because here is what you must burn into the deepest chamber of your mind and carry with you from this day forward. God does not make mistakes. His timing is not slow by accident. His delays are not failures of divine management. Every second that your blessing is being withheld is a second being used to perfect either the blessing or the person who will receive it. And in most cases, in almost every case, it is the person. He is perfecting you. He is completing you. He is building in you something so extraordinary, so enduring, so magnificently powerful that the world will not be able to ignore it when it finally emerges. Do not quit now. Do not rush now. Do not let impatience steal the miracle that patience is protecting. Everything that has been shared in this speech comes down to one single life-changing truth. The greatest achievements in your life will never be the ones you forced, rushed, or manipulated into existence. They will be the ones you believed in long enough, endured patiently enough, and trusted faithfully enough to allow God to complete according to His perfect design and divine schedule. You came into this moment carrying frustration. You came carrying confusion. Perhaps you came carrying the quiet, exhausting weight of a dream that has been waiting longer than you ever imagined it would have to wait. And the message you must carry with you as you leave is this: your wait is not wasted. Your silence is not defeat. Your delay is not denial. Everything you have endured has been building the version of you that is strong enough, wise enough, and ready enough to receive and sustain the greatness that is coming. Do not let impatience write the ending of a story that God designed to be extraordinary. Stay faithful, stay patient, stay in the process, and know with absolute certainty your best is not behind you, it is ahead, and it is closer than you think.